Have you ever felt like nobody really gets why you made a choice in your life, or nobody is really understanding the perspective you're coming from, or why you're making the choices you are? It's frustrating to feel misunderstood because we all want to be seen for who we really are, right? Or we want to be seen and understood in our life. We all want to be understood. And the real pivot, though, is first understanding yourself. Because when we understand ourselves, we can kind of pull away from that energy of needing to explain ourselves to other people. Does that make sense? When we are in that stage of really trying to explain ourselves, or that back and forth with somebody and they're not understanding and you're not understanding and you're really trying to get your perspective across, that can really pull us out of our own energy. And that's where those the waters can get kind of murky, right? Because you leave that conversation or that interaction kind of feeling like, oh, well, they don't understand me and I don't understand them, and that's that, right? But the real work is standing in your truth, being clear on why you're doing things, feeling comfortable in your choices and those that inner guidance you're coming from, and being okay being misunderstood. I think that's a really hard lesson. That has been one of my lessons. Um, that it's okay for others not to understand my path, and it's okay for others to not quite get what I'm going through, or why I make choices. Of course, we want our loved ones, our family, our friends, even your coworkers, you want people to understand where you're coming from. But I think that's less important. And the gold is really settling into yourself and settling into being comfortable, knowing why you did something or knowing where you're going, and without trying to force it onto other people. And it's okay to be misunderstood. What comes from this perspective of really standing steady in your ground is then it gives you that clear sense of, okay, how do I want to interact with this person or this situation, or how do I want to react, if at all? And it gets you less involved in that push pull energy, because maybe you do want to say your piece or say you're part of it, but it doesn't become in that forcing nature of this person has to understand me. It's kind of just, um, it's more calm, it's more centered, and you can put it out there, but also understand that even that may be misunderstood, and that's okay. I think noticing that inner awareness about why do we want to be understood so bad? And is there something in us that we're not really comfortable with? Are we comfortable with that decision? Is that what's causing that misalignment where we want to be backed up by the people that um, are close to us? Do we need them to understand to get their reassurance, their validation? Or is it okay to just say, yeah, they don't really understand where I'm coming from, and I can see their discomfort with it, or I can see their perspective too, and nothing I say is going to really change that. So I can stay silent in my truth. When we check in with ourselves, it kind of gives us that feedback of how we're feeling about it. Is it creating that sense of anxiety that, no, I really need that person to understand me, like they are misunderstanding, right? That, what is that anxiety? Why are we so needing the other person to understand our perspective? Yes, there's some situations it's great to get your vision across, or your perspective at certain dealings, right? But there's other things that really don't involve the other person, and they don't have to get why we're making a choice. When we check in with ourselves, first, we see where we stand, we see what matters, and we also see how we want to move forward in that interaction. Being misunderstood, I think, and feeling maybe unseen for who we are is, I think, part of the human experience and it's real. But I also think it can help us shift and learn what's important to us and noticing our energy, our boundaries, our reactions. That's all that's where our power lives, right? We have the power to react how we want to react, engage how we want to engage. And I do think life is all about this energy that we put out and we interact with, and we get to work with it how we want to. And so, is it worth it to you to keep kind of butting up against that? I don't even want to call it negativity, right? But that sense that you have to prove yourself? Or does it feel better to just settle in and go, I know what I'm doing here. I trust my inner guidance, and maybe people come around to understand where I'm coming from. Maybe they don't. It's all okay. I've been noticing how much freedom comes from understanding myself and not needing others to understand me so much. And that feels freeing. And that has felt really good just to sit with myself and say, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to explain too much.